Welcome to Well, That Just Happened. I'm your host, Cody Spence.
And I'm your co-host, Mark Hawk.
This is a podcast about, well, do you want to tell them, Mark?
Yeah, so this is a podcast that takes a look at news stories from around the world.
Some that shock us, some that have us asking what just happened, and some that we just found interesting.
So if you like the show, please subscribe and leave a review.
We're on YouTube and any other podcast platform.
And with that being said, all that's left is, let's see what's happening this season.
Alright, so in this episode, I got quite a few doozy of a story here. So have you ever eaten something that's, falling on the ground like that 5-second rule?
I don't believe in the 5-second rule.
Why?
I don't. If I drop something, I don't care. If I see somebody disinfect the table at a restaurant and I drop food on it, it's done. It's
Really?
thrown away.
Well, this one you might have a little bit of an issue with. So,
You know the way I am about food, man.
I know this is why I put this story in here. Alright, so the headline, police. Argument over potato chips leads man to choke wife.
I could see that, honestly. I'm just saying, you could say there's no reason to ever do domestic violence, but I believe there's exceptions to those rules.
Well, you can tell us if this is one of those exceptions.
Okay.
In West Pittston in Luzerne County, one man is behind bars because police say that he choked his wife and tried to drown her because his chips and sandwich fell into the sink.
Did she do it?
No, he dropped stuff.
Oh.
But she... Alright, so what happened was Timothy DePreto was eating a sandwich and munching on some chips, and he was arguing with his wife, and he ends up dropping him in the sink, and she started just going after him, belittling him, telling him he's a lazy man, he's no good for nothing. And so he proceeded to pick the sandwich up and eat it.
Oh.
Yeah. And that caused the fight to kind of stem a little bit worse. And when that happened, they proceeded to argue and make their way to the bathroom, to where he grabbed her and stuck her head inside of the tub and proceeded to attempt to drown her.
Okay, in this situation, I guess, I'm not faulting her. He dropped the shit. He was trying to eat it. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm on the woman's side, actually, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, you don't eat out the sink. Like, you do dirty dishes in that sink.
It's not. It doesn't say there was dirty dishes or anything.
It doesn't matter.
It does too matter.
I don't care if you just disinfected that sink. If I drop stuff in the sink, it's gone. I'm done.
Okay then.
I mean, the thing is, her belittling him because he made a mistake. I mean, I'm not gonna spite my wife in that way. Like, oh, you're telling me I'm stupid and stuff, so I'm just gonna go ahead and eat a dirty sandwich out of the sink. Like, doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but each their own, I guess.
He actually afterward, I'm assuming he was just so pissed off at everything that was going on that he ended up calling the police up and turning himself in for trying to potentially kill his wife.
I mean, I guess he beat her to the punch. He knew it was coming.
He ended up getting $75,000 bail.
Damn.
Yeah. It's quite the hefty fee to pay for what? Sink snack?
Get a nasty sink snack. I'm just saying, like, your chips fell in the sink. I mean, that's I would not eat it. No, not at all. That's gross.
Okay, so another one that I have, it was another, it's in PA, and this one has to do with, returning stolen goods. So if you're thinking, like, I'm gonna steal something, your first instinct is probably, what, get away?
Oh, definitely.
So how about you steal a whole bunch of stuff from Dunham's, and you go out to the car and realize, oh wait, I have one of these, I should go take it back. Like, the person literally walked out, went to the car, and went, nah, I'm gonna take this one back.
I mean, at least they realized before they left. I mean, it would have been a waste.
Stealing like $150,000 worth of goods.
Oh wow. Okay.
But all right, so keep that in mind. Now it's a place like Dunham's. It was actually Dick's Sporting Goods. But when you think to get like that kind of value, I'm thinking you're stealing a kayak. You're stealing.
How do you steal a kayak?
How do you put it over your head and walk out the door?
I'm
At that
gonna
point,
go,
you got a battering ram.
I'm gonna go ahead and say though, if I'm an employee, I'm not stopping him either. Like if you're ballsy enough to put it over your head and walk out the door, I'm thinking, yeah, you paid for that. I mean, but I don't know how you could do that though, because you're saying 150 grand worth of stuff.
I might
You
be,
would
I
have,
might be wrong. That does sound really high.
yeah, maybe 1,500. But either way, that's still a decent amount worth of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually only it was $2,600.
Still, that's a decent amount to steal in one day.
I still think like they ended up putting like the skis up the shirt and maybe a football helmet, catcher's mitt.
It could be one of them things. You got an employee who is just looking at him like, I don't care about my job that much. You know,
I bet they won't make it.
I'm like, I'm curious to see how much they can get out of here with
Uh-huh.
without anybody else stopping them. You know.
And then
So what were they trying to return?
it didn't say what they were trying to return, but it was the person when they got in custody. The person's defense was, "I already had one of these." And it's like, no, sir, shut up.
I guess.
So this next one, this is gonna go with the theme that I keep talking about. So, say you have an ex and you just want to get back at your ex. What do you do to get back at your ex? That involves a car.
Hit him.
Okay, vehicular manslaughter. All right then.
Just break a leg.
How do you get to determine
how hard you hit him, where you hit him? You know, you just kind of clip them.
Mark has a whole physics book on how to only break a leg.
Yeah, you just kind of side swipe, maybe
Door
open
check.
the door. Yeah.
All right, so this one here comes to us from China. A woman and her suitor in East China's Zhengzhou province rented ex's car, ran 49 red lights in revenge.
Nice. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you get away with running that many red lights? Because I've ran one and been pulled over.
I don't know, but 49. Okay, so what?
Okay, we're talking China though, man. There's a billion of them.
Of them?
People, you know.
Backtrack. Hold up.
It's like Nuprin, little, yellow, different.
No.
I knew I could get you like a what?
No. All right. So police in Shenzhen, East China's Zhejiang province, has detained a man and a woman of suspicion of provoking trouble. So what happened is there's like those car share apps you can get, kind of like was it Uber?
Lyft. On the same.
And this was like you rent somebody's car. So what she did, she convinced her new boyfriend to rent her ex-boyfriend's car, and they were driving around just blowing through red lights. And then the reason that they ended up getting busted, it was there was like a speeding violation or something. But the crazy part was they were gonna peg it all on him, on the ex, because everything was it was registered to him, all the license plate and stuff. It wasn't until when he got everything got confronted. He's like, "Hey, I rented it to her," and then she was upset, and she's the one that dumped him. So how does that make any sense?
I mean, women are crazy. I'm just saying, like, not saying that men are all
You were
up there.
trying to alienate half of our audience.
I'm not alienating anyone. I'm just saying. They know they're crazy.
How?
They just know. Why you always gotta question everything I say?
All right, and then so I have one more story that has to do with car. And this one has to do with if you're caught in a traffic stop, what do you do to get rid of the evidence? If there is any evidence, you put it in your pocket, slide it in the glove box, under the
It
seat.
depends on what it is. Like I have in the past had to eat some weed or You know, if I had a beer, I've had to like tuck it down in between the seats and just pray it didn't spill. You know,
I'm glad you said eating the weed thing because that's exactly what I have for you this week. Um,
dude, I'm telling you, if you don't have a drink, that's dangerous.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Experience. All right, so Ohio State trooper saves choking driver's life. Guy swallowed his weed. So a driver in Ohio got in serious trouble when he tried to avoid a weed bust by swallowing the green, and he's damn lucky the state trooper who had pulled him over knew the harm. So what had happened was Trooper Charles Hoskin pulled over Stephen R. Lash for speeding, and he got all sketched out, and you can see from the dash cam footage that he goes up, he gets the guy's like ID and stuff, and goes back to the car to run his ID and everything in the car. And you can see through the dash cam footage, this dude's just rustling, just throwing his hands around. You see him put his head back, and stuff goes in. And so Charles goes up, and the officer goes back up to the driver's side, and that dude's in there just, and the guy pulls him out, pulls him right in front of the dash cam, starts giving him the Heimlich, ends up saving his life. But still got hit with a possession charge.
I mean, because I imagine when you do the Heimlich, you're puking up the weed.
Oh,
like, that's the thing, though. Like, if you already have it rolled, you already got, like, the seeds and stems out of it, and there's paper around it, it makes it a little hard, easier to, you know, eat.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have it just in a baggie or something like that, and you still got the seeds and stems in it and that, yeah, that's pretty dangerous stuff.
I just imagine his mugshot with a big old smile, and you got weed grains
like
sticking
you got some
out
broccoli in your teeth. No, that's not broccoli.
I'm going to have a happy stay here tonight. And with that note, that person, I'm going to applaud.
I mean, you tried, buddy. You really did, but yeah, it's not as easy as it sounds.
No. You know, Super Troopers, that was just a movie.
Yeah, very true.
All right, let's see what you got.
Okay. Now I got some stories for you.
All right.
Speaking to the weed theme. All right. So, Annelle Bonnie, 26, of Long Island. She was going to court for a possession of marijuana charge. She pulled into court in her Jeep, cut off officers in an unmarked car while talking on her cell phone. She then parked in the reserved space for the police chief that was clearly marked. The officers approached her car, asked her to roll the windows down, and when she did, the officer said it was right out of a Cheech and Chong movie. Smoke just rolling out of the vehicle.
Oh, that's awesome.
And, you know, she admitted it was weed, and she was charged with unlawful possession of marijuana while en route to court to answer a previous charge for unlawful possession of marijuana, and was ticketed for using her cell phone while driving.
Wow.
So,
Though,
you know, we have been through this before. I mean, to me, this is not as bad as the guy who stole 2 cop cars in a single thing, like last season. But still, people who don't learn from their previous mistakes and like to do the same thing over again.
Yeah, because didn't you say she was going to court for the same thing?
Yes.
No.
And I mean, I've actually seen someone who went to court for driving without a license and drove to court without a license.
Again, no.
And got busted again for it. I actually know people who did that one, but this one's a little different.
Wow.
I mean, that's just the thing. Like, some people don't learn from their mistakes. It's all right. Now this one.
Hold up, wait. The gall to go ahead and do that. Be on your cell phone, cut a cop off, show up high, so high that you hotbox the car and you're gonna roll out with the smoke. But you also park in the police chief his parking spot, dude. There is 1, 2, 3, 4. There is 7 things in that whole scenario that were wrong from the start.
I imagine she was gonna plead guilty.
I would I would hope so.
I'm wondering if she was stoned enough to think that double jeopardy.
Maybe double jeopardy only accounts for, I think, like murder and like rape and.
But maybe she didn't know that. She was too high. She was like, "You can't get me for the same thing twice."
Maybe.
But that didn't work out for her.
No.
Okay, so the next one I got, again, woman driver. Police pursuit ends when suspect stops at McDonald's.
All right.
So a Massachusetts woman.
Hold up, wait. Crime snack.
I'm thinking, no, this lady, I think she just thought, I am not getting busted.
Really?
And I'll show you why.
Okay.
So, a Massachusetts woman, this was at 8:45 on July 6th. 38-year-old Johanna Gardell stole a work truck. The owner had a GPS tracker in it, so the cops approached, she took off, started low speed, then she picked up speed, running red lights. So the cops were like, all right, the vehicle's got low jack. We'll back off, because she was starting to become a danger to pedestrians and other cars.
Okay.
So, after they backed off for safety reasons, even though, the cops backed off when she came to congested traffic, she went over into oncoming traffic, hit a vehicle, and then 3 officers were present and saw this and went to approach her. She knocked down a policeman and dragged one.
She line backed somebody?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Whoa!
She dragged the cop, along after they tried to stop her for doing this. And of course, she starts speeding off. Once again, they backed off for safety reasons. She then pulled into McDonald's, got stuck in the drive-through lane, tried to flee again, and hit another cruiser, tried to drive off-road, and got caught. The tires went flat. And she got 13 offenses, including failure to stop for police, assault and battery by means of a dangerous weapon, disturbing the peace, and operating a motor vehicle after a suspension. She had no license.
Wow. So I am going to hit this button for that. Because there are so many things with that. First off, what do you think she was going for?
See, that's what I'm not sure. I mean, okay, you're walking along, and I'm thinking it didn't say a DUI, and that's all I can think. You didn't have a license, probably for a traffic offense, and you just happen to walk by. Guy gets out, leaves the truck running with the keys inside. I mean, she probably hadn't driven in a while and was like, I need a vehicle.
I'm thinking she just wanted like a sausage McMuffin, and it was just like, I'm gonna go get that. Hey, there's a vehicle.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, you got to figure, the reason I say that she was probably cocky and just thought she was going to get away with it, I mean, the cops backed off from it twice.
Yeah.
So she probably thought, man, they already backed away twice. I'm just going to get away with this.
But, like, I feel like, all right, so if I'm going to try to run away from the police, the last thing I'm going to go do is get to an area where I'm going to have somebody in front of me and behind me, and I'm stuck there. That just doesn't sound like a smart idea, especially when you're going through a drive-thru. You got the enclosed areas on both sides. There is no route for escape at that point.
I don't know. Have you ever been to that drunk point where you're like super hungry and you got that one track mind and that's all you can focus on?
Of course.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking happened.
Dude, I boiled pizza rolls before.
Oh wow. Okay, I've never been that drunk.
That was back in college. I don't think we owned a microwave or something at that point. So what I did, I ended up taking pizza rolls, threw them inside of a Ziploc baggie. Pulled some water, threw him in there, thinking that was gonna help save it, dude. It turned into this weird, nasty mush.
Ooh,
I took a bite. It wasn't good.
I can imagine. But yeah, I'm thinking, anytime I see something like that, I'm thinking alcohol has to be involved. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely alcohol or meth.
Definitely. Oh, meth. Yeah,
I think meth for everything.
Yeah. Well, this was not in our area.
Our area is pretty messed up.
Yeah. All right. So the next one I got, this is specifically for you because I know how you feel about snakes. So escape python bites man's genitals after hiding in his toilet. So an Austrian man,
that is my
65.
That is my nightmare.
I know. So he went to the bathroom about 6 a.m.
Nope.
Police said he just sat down to use the bathroom when he felt a pinch on his genitals. When he stood up to inspect the bowl, he was shocked to see that a snake staring back at him.
Dude stuck in morning wood and got bit.
Yeah. The snake belonged to a neighbor, and the guy was taken to the hospital treated for minor injuries. But they say that the snake was returned to its owner. He keeps a total of 11 non-venomous snakes and was unaware that it had escaped.
No.
Police said the snake owner had been referred to prosecutors for negligent bodily harm, but unclear if he will be charged. Animal Services were told about the presence of a large number of dangerous snakes at his address.
Charge him.
Yeah, well, you wake up in the morning, and the first thing you got to do is go to the bathroom. I mean, I could not imagine. Sit down, just about ready to take a dookie. And then, because, like, for me, I won't go to the bathroom until I got a cigarette and my cell phone. And, yeah, I might be part Italian. I don't know. But, yeah, so I can't imagine just sitting there, lighting your smoke, half awake, getting ready to look at your phone, and then you just feel pinched. You know, the first thing I'm thinking is, oh, did I just sit on my balls because I'm tired? You know, what's going on here? And then, yeah, looking back and seeing a snake, oh, I would probably scream like a little girl. I swear.
I'd say with someone like you, you're saying you smoke on the toilet, so I'm thinking you're going to try to burn it. But also being that early in the morning, I could see you burning yourself instead.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't try to burn it. I mean,
I think I would.
I don't know.
And whatever's going to let that little evil bastard let go, I'm doing it.
I mean, I don't know.
Did it stay connected?
No, it said when he stood up, he saw it, like, coiled up in the toilet. And, you know, the police had to come in and remove it, or animal control. And
I'd sell my house.
yeah, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably kill my neighbor. Like, or it's like, oh, you let snakes out to come in my house? Yeah, how do you like spiders, fool? We're going to get you a tarantula today. Or something, man. Payback would have been in effect. I promise you. Okay. So, the next one I got, it was a theme. Kind of last season, we had a few of these stories. And yes, sorry, it involves bestiality. So,
Okay.
Sean McDonald, 57 of Ireland. He met a 43-year-old mother of four in a bestiality chat room. They arranged to meet at his house. The woman had sex with his German shepherd. She collapsed. He called for help. She died from anaphylaxis. It turns out she was allergic to the dog's semen. Didn't know that was a thing.
Neither did I.
He was charged with buggery, contrary to Section 61 of the Offenses Against a Person. And he was the first person to be charged with it, and he faced life in prison.
Oh, what? No.
Yeah, he faced that. But he pled guilty and was given a 3-year suspended sentence. The judge said the woman came to his house of her own free will and didn't know she was the allergic reaction would happen. His attorney said it was the woman. If the woman had lived, you know, he wouldn't have been prosecuted. He was not the principal offender, but aided and abetted the crime. The judge was shocked to, you know, hear that there were 1.5 million hits to bestiality websites on his computer in a 5-month period.
That's too much.
He was ordered to go to counseling and had to be on the sex offender list for 5 years. Lost his job as a bus driver. His family disowned him, and he had to move.
Yo.
And the woman also had a ton of bestiality porn and showed that she planned to get freaky with the dog. And the worst part about it was the dog was put down.
It's not the dog's fault.
That's what I'm saying.
And you don't even like animals.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't feel that was the dog's fault. You
No.
can't put down a dog for... I mean, if someone gives you a wet hole, you know, to an animal, they're going to take it. I'm saying they don't know any better.
All right.
You think a human man penis doesn't have a conscience. A dog definitely doesn't have one.
So, this isn't the fucking toy box killer.
What?
The toy box killer.
No. This is just...
I mean, I know that, but what I mean is, like, the toy box killer was a serial killer who was using his dog to anally and vaginally rape women as a psychological form of torture.
Yeah. Well,
In that case, yeah, that person should deserve, like, life in jail, you know, death penalty, whatever. But that's not what this was. This was, it's not a kink. I don't care what you say, it is not a kink. But
apparently it is.
No, it's not.
Not only did the guy have 1.5 million hits of bestiality, like, on his computer, but the lady had it as well. Like, a bunch of hits on her computer of bestiality, and it is a kink. Cause
not a kink.
Them furry peoples.
It's different.
How is that different?
Because those are actual people dressed up in, like, suits and stuff. Yeah, it's weird.
But they're pretending they're the animals.
Alright, we are going to disagree on this. this will get me going. We're already getting pretty close to the point where we got to hit the wrap up.
All right. You know what? We are going to come back to this in the wrap up, and me and Cody are going to disagree, and you'll get to see the twisted differences between me and Cody.
Stay tuned.
In our weekly wrap up, we discuss some of our personal opinions and ideas. So let's see what we thought this week.
Okay.
All right. So before we get started, I want to hit this button because we're about to argue, and it's going to be a slapping fight.
Because Cody is wrong.
I'm not wrong.
All right, go ahead. Give your perspective.
Okay, why that's not a kink?
No, well, I'm saying, you're saying that the people that have the kink with the animals is different than furries who dress up like animals to have sex. And I believe that's a stepping stone into bestiality.
And I think you're wrong.
I
Okay,
mean,
so when we talk about a kink, we're talking about things that two consenting adults do.
yes.
Okay, explain to me how an animal is a consenting adult.
Okay. I'm just saying that I said I'm comparing them to furries. And they start out dressing up like animals and doing it with other humans. And then Mr. Hands ends up happening. Just saying.
That was not a kink either.
No, but it.
Okay, so all right, you want to go down that road, then we can sit there and say that. So so you're gonna argue that that's a kink. So it's acceptable because it's a kink.
I didn't say it's acceptable.
Okay, well,
I don't think furries are acceptable. I've told you that before.
So, with your logic, dressing up with the furry outfit is the same as.
I'm not saying it's the same.
All right,
I
then you
just
need
said
to
it's a
explain your
starting-
arguments more.
Okay,
today.
what I'm saying is it's like a starting place. Like, you start out dressing up as animals and stuff like that. You get that kink out. And I mean, okay, what's the kink about dressing up like animals if you're not attracted to animals? Like, because some of these furry conventions and stuff like that, they say they have these orgies and the people never even get out of costume. You don't even know what the people you're having sex with look like.
But you don't think that would be more satisfying knowing that you just got a piece and you don't have to worry about the person's good looking or not?
No.
Why not?
Okay, I'm just saying, okay, we'll go into that road.
All right.
All right, so say they open their butt flap and let you inside. How do you know you just didn't do the butt sex with a guy?
Mark, if it feels good, then it's all right.
Okay, we're going to have to move out of this conversation because that's just wrong on so many levels.
All right, so, yeah, that's the end of the argument. Now, is there going to be anything else you want to touch on in the wrap-up?
Yeah, I would say when it comes to weed,
Don't eat it.
no, be responsible. Like, don't eat it while you're driving. That's not good. Don't smoke it in front of police. That's even more. I mean, how dumb can you be, especially on your way to court for it? Like,
That's the best part about that to me, is that the individual was going to court for the same exact charge.
well, the thing is, like, if I was going to do that, I'm parking at the end of the row away from everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not pulling in the spot marked for the police chief who's like, I got this. How dumb can you be? And that's why I say be responsible. Same as, like, okay, the guy got caught for speeding. If he wasn't smoking it and that weed was like in their center console, I mean, the cop's happy giving you a ticket for speeding. That's what they busted you for. How did you know that weed was even going to come into play in that situation?
That's a good point.
I mean, you're paranoid, obviously,
Yeah.
but you now got busted because you had to bring the weed out. If you have it in a baggie and it's like zipped up and it's not smelling and that, most of the time you can get away with it. But once your dumbass gets paranoid and starts eating it in front of the police on dash cam, yeah, you're done. So I'm not saying don't do it because it is legal in a lot of states now.
I love the fact that the person got the Heimlich. But still got the ticket. That's the part that I love.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, part of me is like, is that cop would just be like, dude, you're not thinking in the right frame of mind, so I'm going to let you go, just straighten up.
I don't think. Because that is a serious charge, like eating it. You know,
Well, this was just over in Ohio, though.
Yeah, but yeah, that's like hiding evidence, or that
No, I
they take
guess.
that shit seriously, man. Seriously. So you just kind of, some cops are really cool though, and if they say, "Do you have any drugs on you?" and you say, "Yeah, I got a couple joints on me," they'll say, "Dump it on the ground and leave," and they'll let you go.
And then you circle the block, come back and grab it,
No,
and then they sit and wait for you.
they'll probably step on it and be like, grind that shit in the pavement.
Or they go, "Hey, look, after dinner
I'm sorry, but if I was a cop, I'd confiscate and take.
snack."
But yeah, I wouldn't listen to Cody. Just don't do it. I mean, come on, man. This is 2021.
Yeah,
It's legal in a lot of states now. It'll
right.
be everywhere.
you're right.
So,
There are a lot of things that used to be illegal.
yeah. I mean, luckily, pedophilia is still illegal. Bestiality is still
But
illegal.
that's an argument, because back a long time ago, pedophilia was not illegal.
What?
You think back to like the 1920s and stuff. There were people that were marrying 12-year-olds to have kids.
Oh, that's true.
So it's not that long ago that there were things that are taboo now that were perfectly acceptable by society.
True. Very
Same
true.
thing as like weed for the longest time was, completely one of the top-rated offenses in most states in the U.S. And then within the last 2-3 years, it's legal.
I would
in,
say
like,
within
20.
the last 5 years, there's been quite a few states
It's
that have
at least
legalized it
20.
at least medically,
Yeah.
and then some recreationally. Is there any other stories you want to touch on?
The one that I do want to touch on again, because we touched on this, outside of recording, the snake thing.
Oh yeah.
I don't like snakes, never have, and the idea now that you put in my head that I could be taking a morning delight and get
Delight.
a morning release, and then I can find a serpent from hell inside of my. I now have a new thing to have nightmares about. I just want to thank you for that.
It's not just that, and I was telling the story off camera about that flight. I think it was within the last 10 years where they had a spider from another country get on the airplane, hide under the toilet seat, bite somebody's butt, and they ended up dying. Like, I mean, obviously that wasn't intentional. I mean, the guy didn't want a snake to go bite his neighbor's balls, but it happened. And just, if you have...
That's debatable, though.
That's true. You might not like them.
Yeah. Every day, this guy's running drills on how to send that snake over there and get him. I mean, the guy said he owned, 11 other snakes? He's planning something. I don't trust anybody that has that many snakes. They're up to something.
But they said no.
Maybe they want to do a real life snakes on planes or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's true. I some people, I don't know. You lost me on that one. Yeah. But I think that's about all I got for this week.
Yeah, me too. But to that snake, I just want to say, we got a sound.
Till next time.
Bye.
Well, that just happened.
If you like what you heard, tune in next week to see what else we find.
Also, please leave a review, a like, and subscribe.
If there's something you think is interesting and would like us to address, then reach out to the show and let us know.
We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, pretty much anywhere you want to reach us.
And with that being said, this concludes our episode of Well, That Just Happened.